Hi everyone. As you all know from the way that I've been spamming your news feeds in the last few days, I'm going to be taking part in a massive charity workout on the 8th of December with Atom Health and Fitness. The whole thing's been organised by my personal trainer Pete Sweeney, and we're trying to raise money for the Mental Health Foundation. As I said in one of my posts, I decided I'm going to make a bit of a video just to explain why this is such an important cause to me, and hopefully give you a bit more context as to why I'm asking for donations for this. So the three things that I want to talk about in this video are, firstly, why this cause is so important to me. Secondly, just go through some of the statistics on suicide in the UK and why this is such a big issue and why we're so eager to raise as much money as we can for this cause. And thirdly, just to discuss the importance of talking about your feelings and just reaching out to those people around you who care about you and asking for some support. It really makes a world of difference. So please bear with me. I've never made a video like this before and I'm a little bit nervous, but I'll try my best to not to mince my words too much and just get on with it. So without further ado, the first thing I want to talk about is my personal experience with mental health issues. I want to explain why this is a really important cause for me, and this is going to be really difficult for me to talk about, but I'd like to try and use this as an example about why it's so important to talk about these things and not to bottle these things up. So I'm going to highlight kind of 3 periods in my life where I've had real difficulty with my mental health, and hopefully it will give you that little bit more context about what's going on. So obviously for me, the biggest thing, as many of you already know, I'm a gay man, and the most difficult point in my life that I can remember was probably when I was a teenager at school, and was obviously keeping that a secret from people, hadn't come out yet. I was dealing with all these secrets, and it was a really difficult time for me. It was, I felt like I was lying to people at home, lying to people at school. And then it led to other issues. So essentially, because I felt like I didn't have any control over that situation, I ended up basically not eating all the time. I would go days without food and almost compete with myself to see how long I could go without eating any food. Obviously, that was really unhealthy, and I know that a lot of people that love me and care for me were getting really worried about this. Luckily, this all kind of turned around a little bit when I plucked up the courage to come out, firstly to a few of my friends, and then eventually to my family, and that really changed my life. It made things a lot easier, and I went off to uni a completely different person, much more confident person, and managed to get through that time. But it was a very difficult time, particularly at such a young age. The second period I want to talk about, sorry if I'm rushing this a little bit, I just don't want to make this video too long, is around 2014, 2015, before I went travelling to Australia. I was in a really dark place at the time. I wasn't happy with my job. I felt really lonely. A lot of my friends from uni were moving off and moving away to different places, and I felt like I didn't have many people around me. This meant that I went down a really inadvisable path, and I was drinking every weekend. I was going out to clubs on my own. I was getting absolutely mortal, to the point where I was completely blacking out. Couldn't remember the days after, and then I would spend all of the next day laid in bed and just despising myself, really. Really shocked for, why am I doing this to myself yet again? I know it's not good for me, and really beating myself up about the choices I was making. And at the same time, I was eating stupid amounts of food, consuming huge amounts of calories, and managed to gain probably 5 or 6 stone from the weight that I was before that. So I was getting up to around 17.5, 18 stone, which obviously is not healthy weight, or for me it was not healthy weight, but I couldn't really see any way to get out of that. So eventually I decided, and this was probably the darkest point of my life, and one of the hardest things I'm going to say right now is, at the time, particularly when I would get home from these binge drinking sessions, and these really, really dark times when I was sat in clubs on my own at 4 a.m, not knowing what I was doing and stuff, sending weird texts to my friends and stuff because I was so concerned. And it's really hard to admit this, but at that point I was also self-harming. I know it's a really bad thing to do, and I obviously would implore anyone who's thinking about that to seek help, to talk to their friends and stuff. But I think it's really important, particularly in a video like this, to really be open and honest about what I was going through, what I was doing to myself, and probably to those around me without even realising the damage I was causing. Anyway, I don't want to dwell on that too much because I'm aware that the video is already at nearly 6 minutes. But what I do want to say is that I managed to get out of that by deciding to go travelling in Australia. It made a really big difference. Just have that change of scenery, really shake things up a little bit. Yeah, so I kind of got through that dark time, and deciding to go to Australia made me decide to lose the weight because I didn't want to go to Australia overweight and unhealthy. So I managed to lose around 4 stone before that. So again, I got through that, but obviously I went through a very dark period there. Probably I would say the darkest period of my life at that point. Quickly, the third time was this year, 2018. Has been a really difficult time for me mentally. I'm not going to go into too many details with that because yeah, it involves other people and some of the problems that other people have been facing. But the long story short is that there's been some loss both in my friendship circle and in my family, and it's been quite difficult to deal with, amongst other things that I've been dealing with. Yeah, so I don't want to go into that too much, but basically just say that this year has also been a really tough year for me. But my friends have been there for me. I've discovered for me exercise is a huge way to make things easier, to make things better. And it's a real coping mechanism for me. It helps keep my my thoughts at bay, makes me spur myself on to do bigger, better things, exercise harder, do more, and look after myself, basically. Because obviously, when I was in this period of darkness, I was doing everything I could in self-destruct mode to hurt myself and probably those around me. But now, hopefully, I mean, obviously I still have days where I struggle, and I'm working on that. Anyway, yeah, I just want to say this year's also been a tough one. So those are kind of the 3 periods of my life that have been probably the most difficult. So the next thing I want to talk about, because now you've got a bit of context about why this is something that I'm so passionate about, I really want to make a difference here, is I want to talk about some of the statistics on suicide in the UK. These are from the Mental Health Foundation, the charity that we're raising money for, on the 8th of December. So please check out the website, Mental Health Foundation. It's the first thing that comes up if you Google. As you've seen from the things that I've been sharing, the workout is to do 5,821 reps. That's 1 rep for every life lost to suicide in 2017. Just think about that for a second. That's 5,821 people who decided that their only way out of the situation that they were facing was to end their own lives. I mean, that is just absolutely mind-boggling. I can't believe that in this day and age that is still a thing. So my aim on the 8th of December is to do as many of those reps as I can. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do the whole thing, probably not, but I'm going to try my absolute best to do as many as I can and kind of raise as much money as possible for these people and make sure that we bring this number down, preferably to 0. I mean, you might say it's a pipe dream, but I really want to try and bring it down as far as I can by helping out this organisation. As many of you are aware as well, male suicide accounts for 3/4 of all the suicides in the UK. And it's actually the biggest killer, and biggest cause of death, amongst men aged 20 to 49 in the UK. I mean, that's absolutely mental. If you just think about that for a second, the biggest cause of death for men between 20 and 49 is suicide. It's clearly something's wrong. Something is very wrong there, and we need to do something about it. And probably the other statistic, because again I'm aware that the video is going on a little bit, the last statistic is, which is one that's personally a big thing for me, is that LGBT plus youth are almost 5 times more likely to have suicidal thoughts, and in many cases attempt suicide, than heterosexual counterparts. So obviously, I mean, not in any way belittling the struggles that other people go through, but for me that's a really important statistic. Obviously, when I was talking before about the fact that I used to self-harm when I was really struggling, and of course part of that were involved times where I was thinking about doing worse things to myself, thinking that maybe the only way out was to take the option that unfortunately last year 5,821 people felt was their only way out. And I'm really lucky that I've had good friends around me and people to help me, and I've been able to come through that using various coping mechanisms. But we need to make sure that these charities like the Mental Health Foundation have the funding that they need to be able to provide resources, helplines, events, raise awareness, to try and stop this from happening. Because I'm one of the lucky ones. I decided not to do it and managed to get through that. But there are so many people out there who really think that there is no other option, and we need to try our best to help them through that and see that there is hope, and that they are loved, and there are people that want to help them. So just before I finish, the last thing I want to do is kind of really make the point that it is so important to talk about your feelings. That's why I've decided to make this video today, and I'm sorry if you think I'm waffling a little bit, but it really is so important, and I'm trying to kind of lay myself bare here a little bit and show and be an example that you shouldn't be ashamed of what you've been through, what you are going through, and indeed what you will go through as your life progresses. You will have ups and downs, you will have different experiences, and it's really, really important that you talk about these things. But there are people there who will be there to help you. I've personally, it could be that you reach out to your friends, you reach out to your family, you go for a coffee, or in some cases you may benefit from counselling or other professional mental health services. I'm not ashamed to admit that this year I've gone through a course of counselling, and it was really, really beneficial for me. It was the kind of thing that I never thought I'd want to do, or didn't really know if it would make a difference or help me at all, but it actually it was really beneficial. And what's actually amazing is that through talking to people about the fact that I've had counselling this year, so many people have opened up to me and told me that they have also had it, that they've had struggles themselves, and it really felt like there's a sense of community building. And just because one person was brave enough to talk about the fact that they've struggled, it made other people come out and just say, yeah, I've had struggles too, and counselling really helped me, and maybe it's something I can suggest to other people. I was really lucky that I told some people about the things I was going through this year and in the past, and there was help from all sorts of places. I mean, my personal trainer Pete, he's been absolutely fantastic. He's helped me so much in the last year, and I'm so grateful to him for that. My friends at work, my friends at home, my family, they've all been there for me, and even acquaintances from the gym who I didn't really count amongst my friends yet, were really there for me in a deep and meaningful way, and offered me all sorts of things. People offering for me to stay at their houses, if I needed to. People offering to go for coffee, go for drinks, just spend time. And but the key thing is, none of that would have been possible if I hadn't opened up and told people that I was struggling. That really is the key. And I know that there's this kind of toxic masculinity that goes around, and where people think, oh no, men can't talk about their feelings. Absolute bollocks. Sorry, but it really is. Anyone can talk about their feelings. There's no shame in it about struggling. As the tagline for the charity event says, it's okay not to be okay. It really is. The only thing that's not okay is keeping it inside, bottling it up, and not talking about it, because that's how it progresses, and that's how you end up like I was, drinking, self-harming, and thinking about I don't even want to think just where my thoughts were going at that time. So I'm going to wrap this up because I'm already at 15 minutes. I'm sorry, and I really hope that a few of you have actually got through this far. But if any of you could help in any way to help me raise money for this event that I'm doing on the 8th of December, this insane workout, to kind of really raise awareness and raise money for this wonderful, wonderful organisation, I'd be really, really grateful if you could look down at the bottom in the comment section. There's a link there to the fundraising page for the charity event. There's also a photo of the actual workout itself. If you want more details about what I'm actually doing, feel free to message me, comment. Yeah, please, 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 if you can spare anything, every penny counts. Please, 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 dig deep. It means a lot to me. I really, really want to try and make as much of a difference as I can. I've tried to be as honest as possible, and I'm really sorry for going on so long, but it's a really important thing for me to talk about. Thank you for listening. I hope I haven't forgotten anything, and yeah, sorry for going on too much again. Message me if you want any more details, and remember, I'm always available to talk to. If anyone is struggling out there, please feel free to get in touch. Okay, thank you so much. Bye.